Hey guys, this is Kendra with Signing Agent Basics, coming to hang out with you guys on another Saturday. I love going live with you guys every month, sharing information that I have to help each and every one of you become a more productive and profitable signing agent. Now, today's subject I know is one that a lot of new and aspiring signing agents or even veteran signing agents may have questions about. So I am excited to go over this information with you. In this live stream today, we are going to be talking about how to handle late documents, and more specifically, without losing the loan signing. I know that a lot of people who are new to being signing agents aren't even aware that it is a possibility that they may not get their loan documents on time, which really sucks, but it is a reality in this business. And so being aware that that's something that might even happen is something that signing agents or those who want to be signing agents need to be aware of, and how to handle it when the documents are late is something that signing agents and those who are looking to become signing agents need to be aware of. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that in just a bit, but before I do that, I do have a few things I would love for you guys to help me out with. Do me a favor, whether you are watching this on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you are watching this at, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. When you guys hit that like button, that lets me know that you like this type of content. And then I can make more of this type of content for you. And then it also helps me to learn what you guys don't like so that I don't waste time making videos and making content that you guys do not like. But then one thing that will really help me out, guys, if you would come over to my YouTube channel, hit the like button, then hit the subscribe button, and then hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you hit the notification bell, you're notified anytime I have a live stream or anytime I put any other content out. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of that content, make sure that you come over to YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then hit the notification bell. And then, guys, also, whether you are watching on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, do me a favor. And whether you're watching this live or you are watching this on the replay, I need you guys to tell me a few things either in the chat or in the comments. Let me know what city and state you are from. I usually have people watching from all over the country, which is awesome to me. That kind of blows my mind. So I love to hear what city and state you are joining from, whether you are watching live or you are watching the replay. Then let me know whether you are an aspiring signing agent. That means that you have not done any loan signings yet. You're just thinking about it. You're just checking this thing out. You're just trying to see what it is all about if you are an aspiring signing agent. Or let me know if you are a new signing agent. You've been doing this signing agent thing for a year or less. Or let me know if you are a veteran signing agent. You've been a signing agent for more than a year. You ain't new to this. You are true to this. Let me know whether you are aspiring, new, or a veteran signing agent. And then for those of you who are watching live, please do me a favor. If somebody asks in the chat whether or not a replay will be available, yes. As soon as the live stream is over, the replay will be available on YouTube. So if you see anybody asking that, help me out, help a sister out. Let them know in the chat, yes, the replay will be available every single time. I think I have folks who jump on a little bit late and then they're wondering if they're going to be able to see what they have missed. So I'm going to deputize you guys as my assistants today. Let them know that yes, the replay will be available. And we've got a few people who have told me where they are watching from and whether they are aspiring new or veteran signing agents. We've got Gina from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Florida is actually my home state, so I love to see my Florida people. And she is a new signing agent. She's been doing this a year or less. We've also got Brian Bird, a veteran signing agent from Philadelphia. He just added that from Philadelphia. He is a veteran signing agent, been doing this for about 2 years. We've got Always Clean Cleaning Service just getting started. So I'm assuming they're either an aspiring or a new signing agent, and they are in Harrisburg. Guys, I'm going to keep on moving because we got a lot to talk about today. But as I am going on, I still want you guys to let me know what city and state you are from and whether you are an aspiring signing agent, a new signing agent, or a veteran signing agent. And again, whether you are watching this live or on the replay, let me know. But I want to make sure I get through everything that we have to talk about today. And yes, I always have a Q&A, a question and answer session at the end of the live stream. If it's possible, try to hold your questions until the end of my presentation. I might be answering your question in just a little bit later. So if you can, hang on to your questions until the end of the live stream. Now, if for some reason I miss your question during the live stream, or if you are watching during the replay, still go ahead and put your question in. I always try to go back and catch any questions that I may have missed before. So I apologize in advance if I miss your question during the live stream, but I always do my best to go back and answer any of those questions. And then you guys know I always have some freebies for you in the description box of the YouTube video. So again, if you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, you will have to come to the YouTube video to get the freebies. And then people always ask, well, where is the description box? Well, if you are watching this on your laptop or desktop computer, look underneath the video, look underneath the title of the video. You're going to see a little bit of the description box, and then you're going to see the word more. Click on the word more to open up the description box. Now, if you are watching this on your cell phone or your mobile device, again, you're going to look underneath the video, underneath the title of the video. You're going to see the word more. Click more. It's going to open up the description box a little bit, and then you have to click the word more again. And then after that second time, whether you are on a laptop or desktop computer, or whether you are on a mobile device, the entire description box will open up. And then you will see all of the links to all of the different freebies and information that I have for you. So what are those items that I have for you guys? Well, I always have my free new signing agent checklist. One of the things that aspiring signing agents and even new signing agents always want to know is, can somebody just tell me step by step what I need to do to become a signing agent? Well, guys, I have done that for you in that new signing agent checklist. You can download it. You can print it out. If you download it and then go into it in Adobe, there's actual clickable links and all kinds of good stuff. But I tell you exactly what you need to do, exactly what you need to know step by step to be a signing agent. Make sure that you download that. And then I also have my free AI guide for notaries. Guys, AI, stuff like ChatGPT can be an awesome tool that we can use as notaries and as signing agents. But There are certain ways to use this technology to get the best benefit. For a lot of people, the first time they try to use ChatGPT or other AI, they don't get the responses that they're looking for because they don't quite know how to ask the questions properly. But in this free AI guide, I tell you step by step how to put the questions together right so that you get the responses that you want and that you need from ChatGPT. All right, before I go on, I had a few other people hopping on here. I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you, Michael from Tucson. That's a brand new signing agent. We've got Christina from Washington, North Carolina, been a signing agent for just over a year. We've got Connie from Tennessee, a new signing agent. Thanks for joining. We got Stephen from Converse, Texas. That's right next door to San Antonio. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. We've also got Lily's daughter, but actually it's Iris from Kissimmee, Florida area. Awesome. Good to see you. We've got Plan to Be Rita from Oklahoma, an old new signing agent. So maybe you were a signing agent before and you decided to come on back. So I'm glad you are here. We've got Karen. She's a new signing agent as well. Guys, keep on telling me where you are from. I am excited to see each and every one of you. But we're going to jump in and start talking about today's subject. Now, as I said before, one of the things that a lot of new and aspiring signing agents don't know and they don't understand is that you're not always going to get the loan documents on time. And I know that doesn't make sense. And that's the thing that I hear from a lot of new and aspiring signing agents. They're like, hey, I was given an assignment, 2 days ago. It was scheduled for this particular day and this particular time. But when the day and the time came, they did not have documents to me to meet with the signer. Why is that? If they knew that they had this signing scheduled for 2 or 3 days out, why didn't they have the documents to me? Now, the reality is that is just a part of this business. And there's usually no one reason why documents are late. There are a lot of moving parts that have to come together in order for a mortgage loan or a real estate transaction to be ready to close. And there are a lot of different service providers in the process. If something happens that slows down one of the service providers, and when I say service providers, it could be the lender, it could be the title company, it could be the attorneys, the appraisers, surveyors, home inspectors, whatever, all of these different people that have to provide information and services and input into the process in order for the loan to close, something could happen to any one of them that delays the transaction that can cause the documents to be late. There are also things called closing conditions that have to be met. And some of those closing conditions, they don't even do until a day before or even the day of the closing. So, for example, one of the closing conditions that doesn't get done until the very, very end is they re-verify the signer's employment. And if for some reason they're having a hard time re-verifying that the signer is actually employed, that might slow down the process and slow down the documents coming out to you. There could be a last-minute disagreement on the closing figures. The signer may have been told that they were going to get X amount of money or that they were going to have to pay X amount of money at closing, but then the number that's on the actual documents is different from what they were told. And so because of that, that causes a change and a delay in things. The signer may have a delay. Maybe they took time off from work or plan to take time off of work to do the closing, but then something happened and they're having to reshuffle their schedule around. And now things are having to get moved around with the documents. Guys, honestly, there's 100 million different reasons why the documents can be late. And honestly, none of it is our business. None of it really matters to us. It does not matter to us why the documents are late. We just have to realize that sometimes the documents are going to be late. Now, I also want to define late because I think a lot of different people have a lot of different ideas, especially new signing agents have a lot of different ideas about what is late. A lot of signing agents think that they're going to get the documents a day or two ahead of time. I'm going to tell you that almost never happens. you will normally get the documents the day of the signing. Unless the signing is an early morning appointment like 9 or 10 o'clock, more than likely you are not going to get the documents until the day of. And honestly, most companies will think that as long as they get you the documents 2 hours before the scheduled closing time, that's on time, that is enough time. And honestly, it is enough time. I know for new people, you want to have lots and lots of time to look at the documents and love on them and rub on them and all this stuff, but you don't need that amount of time, number one. And number two, you're not going to get that much time most of the time. So the kind of unofficial minimum time is 2 hours before the signing. Now, companies do understand that you have to have a reasonable amount of time to print the documents out and drive to the location. And again, normally that's 2 hours. It should not take you more than an hour to print the documents out and prep them, do the different things that you like to do to be prepared for the signing. It should only take you an hour, less than an hour, to print and prepare the documents. And most of your signings are going to be within an hour's travel of you. If not, they would have gotten somebody closer. The majority of time, though, most of your signings are going to be within an hour's travel of you. So you get an hour to print and prepare the documents and an hour to drive to or travel to the signer. Now, there are sometimes reasons why you would need more than 2 hours. Now, let's say you live in a rural area and it's going to be more than an hour's drive to the signing. Or if you had told the signing company ahead of time, hey, I've got another closing right before this one, so I actually need to get these documents 4 hours ahead of time because I'm not going to have time in between these two closings to go back and print documents. If the contracting company or the company that hired you was made aware of this ahead of time and they agreed to it ahead of time, then yes, that might be an instance where you would be reasonable in asking for more than 2 hours. But again, the normal standard is getting the documents 2 hours before the signing. For most companies, if they get you documents 2 hours before the signing, they do not consider that late. Some other things that I want people to keep in mind, again, especially new and aspiring signing agents, but even some veteran signing agents. Nobody is withholding documents from you just to make you mad. Nobody is withholding the documents for no good reason. I know sometimes it feels personal. Sometimes we might want to take it personal, like, oh my gosh, they are doing this just to mess up my schedule. They're doing this just to mess up my day. I'm not going to lie. I feel like that sometimes. I feel like, why are y'all doing this to me, right? But at the end of the day, guys, I promise you, they're not doing this to you for no good reason. The reality is that companies, the lenders, the title companies, the signing services, they're working on multiple transactions at any given time. You may only have 1, 2, or 3 signings for the day. That lender may have 10, 20, 30, 100. That title company may have 5, 10, or 20 that they're working on. That real estate agent may have 2 or 3 also that they're working on that particular day. Everybody in the business has a lot of different files that they are working on. And so what they do is they prioritize their closings by the signing time. So if your signing is at 5 o'clock and they've got another one at 2 o'clock, they're going to work on the 2 o'clock file before they work on the file for your signing at 5 o'clock. It just makes sense. That's just how it works. So you may not get your documents in the morning if they have other signings that they are working on as well. Now, something else that happens is sometimes they have the documents, but they don't want to send them to you yet. And I know that can feel frustrating as well. You're like, if you have the documents, why haven't you sent them to me? Well, sometimes they wait to send the documents because even though they have documents, they realize that something could change. And so let's say that they sent you the documents the day before. You're going to print those documents out, right? And then if something changes and they have to redraw an entirely new set of documents, they're going to send you those new documents. And then you got to print out that second set of documents. And then you're going to be mad because now you've printed out 2 sets of documents And it wasn't necessary because only the second set of documents is the real set. So sometimes, to avoid the drama of signing agents getting upset because they're having to reprint a new set of documents, they wait until as close to the signing as that 2-hour limit as possible before they give you the documents, just to make sure that there are no changes and that you don't unnecessarily print out a set of documents that you don't end up using, right? So keep those things in mind. But again, guys, the biggest thing is nobody is doing this to you on purpose just to piss you off, I promise. And then another reason, guys, why documents may sometimes be late is just flat out human error. Everybody makes mistakes. Sometimes things slip through the cracks. Sometimes mistakes are made. Again, this isn't something that's personal. They're not doing it personally to you, but sometimes human error and just folks making a mistake, reading a time wrong, thinking that they sent you the docs, but they didn't. These different things can happen to cause you to get the documents late. So if we know that 2 hours is our kind of cutoff time between documents being late and documents being on time, what do we do, or what can we do to try to ensure that we receive the documents on time, again, 2 hours before the signing? And what do we do if we don't receive those documents? Because again, the way that you handle late documents, because you are going to get documents late sometimes, again, period, that's just going to happen. How you handle the late documents is going to be a big factor in whether or not companies continue to use you. So how do we handle it? Well, the first step is I always remind the contracting company, the person that hired me. That could be the title company, the signing company, the lender, whoever it was. I always let the contracting company, the person that hired me, know that I must have documents 2 hours prior to the scheduled closing to be on time. And those last 4 words, to be on time, is the important thing to hear in this sentence. Now, again, if you need more than 2 hours, reasonably, for some reasonable reason, let the company know. But again, 2 hours is the normal standard. So here is what I do to let companies know that I have to have the documents 2 hours before the scheduled closing to be on time for the appointment. At 3 hours before the signing, if I do not have documents, I will send the contracting company, the person that hired me, I will send them an email or a message. So like if you are doing this through SnapDocs, there's a way for you to send messages in SnapDocs. If you're using another portal, like BankServe has a portal, all these different companies have portals. You may be able to send messages through the portal. If you're not able to send messages through a portal, if there is no portal, then you should have an email address that you can email. I always do this in writing first. I always send a message or an email first so that I have a paper trail in writing. At 3 hours before the signing, I am going to send that message. So let's say, for example, I have a signing scheduled at 5 p.m. When 2 p.m. hits, so that's 3 hours before the signing, when 2 p.m. hits, I am going to send a message to the company that hired me. And I've got a sample of exactly what I send here on the screen. I send them a message. And again, I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to have an attitude, none of that stuff. Even if it is messing up my schedule, I'm going to be positive. Again, this is a business environment. So we want to make sure that we are, speaking in a calm, business-like manner. But in my message, I'll say, hello, I just wanted to let you know that I must have the documents for this signing no later than 3 p.m. to ensure that I am on time for the scheduled closing at 5 p.m. Please advise. Okay. So again, I'm just kind of letting them know what the requirements are, what the time frame is, and I have it in writing. So that way they can't say, well, you never told us. Yes, I did. It's in the messages in the portal, and I've got an email. Then after I send the message, I will also follow up with a phone call. Okay. So again, if I get a person, then this is basically what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the exact same thing. Hey, I just wanted to check on these docs. The signing is at 5. Just wanted to let you know I have to have them by 3 p.m. to be on time. If nobody answers the phone, that's okay. Leave a voicemail with this exact same message. Guys, it doesn't matter if anyone answers. It doesn't matter if anyone responds. It doesn't matter. You've done your part. You've let them know what your cutoff time is to be on time for the signing. That's really all you need to do, okay? So then, if you will notice, by doing this, I'm not saying that I will not complete the signing if the documents are late. Depending on when I get the documents, depending on what's going on with my schedule, I may still very well be able to do the signing. So I'm not threatening them. I'm not going to do this if you don't get me this. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know, honestly, if I'm going to be able to do the signing or not. It depends on what they tell me about the documents. It depends on when I get the documents, right? So I'm not telling them that I will not complete the signing if the documents are late. But what I am doing is providing them with a cutoff time that must be met for me to be on time for the signing. They said they wanted the signing to happen at 5 p.m. The only way that I can ensure that I am on time for that signing at 5 p.m. is for me to get the documents 2 hours ahead of time. And again, depending on my schedule and depending on the signer's schedule, I may or may not be able to complete the signing if the documents are late. But honestly, at this point, there's no sense in even thinking about that yet, right? It's not late. The documents aren't late yet. We're just kind of putting a little, little checkup out there. No need to stress out yet because we don't know. You may get the documents in the next couple of minutes. Who knows? But we're just letting the people that hired us know what's going on, putting our expectations out there. All right. So then the next step 2, what do you do if you sent this message and you still do not have the documents at the 2-hour cutoff? So there's really no reason to contact the people that have hired you yet. You've already told them what your cutoff is. If they had the documents, they would have sent them to you. There's really nothing for you to call and talk to them about. But what I do at this point is I contact the signer. Now, when I contact the signer, I calmly let the signer know that I have not received their documents yet, so I may not be on time for the signing. Guys, this part is very, very important. You may be stressing out over these docs. You may be angry or freaked out because you have not received them yet, but you cannot let any of that translate over to the signer. You have got to remain calm. Do not blame anybody. You don't know why you don't have the documents yet. And I can pretty much guarantee you the signer's going to ask, well, why don't you have them yet? I don't know. I don't know why the documents have not been sent to me yet. Okay. You can tell them to contact their loan officer, their real estate agent, their escrow officer. They need to contact one of those people. Those folks will have the answer as to why the documents have not been sent out yet. It's not your job to make up an excuse. It's not your job to speculate. All you're going to do if you do that is get yourself in trouble. I just tell them the truth. You know what? I'm not sure. I also tell them the other truth is that this is common. This is common. This happens in the industry. I'm sure everything is fine. If you want an update, contact your loan officer, your real estate agent, or your escrow officer. They will be able to fill you in. But you have to remain calm, guys, because here's the deal. If you freak out the signer, then the signer is going to call their lender, their escrow officer, their real estate agent, agitated, freaked out, upset. And then I promise you, your lender, the title company, the real estate agent, the signing service is not going to be happy. They are not going to be happy with you for getting the signer upset about the late document. So it is important for you to remain calm. It is important for you to have an attitude of it's okay, everything's going to work out. But if you do have questions, contact your lender. Stay calm. Do not agitate the signer, because the quickest way to lose business, the quickest way to not get sent more business is to upset the people who can send you business, the title company, the lender, the real estate agent, etc. Again, signers are not our clients. Signers are the job. Our clients, the people who hire us, are the ones that we want to keep happy. Again, lender, title company, real estate agent, signing service, we want to keep them happy. And a way to keep them happy is to not send them pissed off signers. All right. Awesome. Now, another thing to keep in mind and another thing to tell the signers is that everything's going to work out. The lender, everybody wants this transaction to close. Nobody makes any money. This is the reality. And you don't have to tell them this way, but this is kind of how I think of it. Nobody's going to make any money if this transaction doesn't close. So I promise you, the lender, the title company, the real estate agent, everybody is doing everything that they can to get these documents out so that this transaction can close, because nobody gets paid if the transaction does not close. So just realize 99.9% of the time, everything works out. It just may not be in the original time frame. Instead of meeting them at 5, you may meet them at 5:30. It's not that big a deal, okay? Everything is going to work out. Late documents. Again, if you're a new or an aspiring signing agent, late documents is new to you. It's new to the signer, but I promise you, this is every day in real estate and mortgage. Anybody who's a veteran signing agent, chime in, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this on the replay. If you're a veteran signing agent, chime in. Documents are sometimes late. I know I'm not the only one that gets late documents sometimes. This is just a part of the business. So you just have to learn to roll with this part of the business. All right. So now we've contacted the signer. We've let them know, hey, I don't have your documents yet, so I probably will not be on time for the signing. The next thing to do, while you are communicating with the signer, you've got them on the phone, find out what their availability is. Obviously, we're not going to be on time. So we need to ask the signer if they are available to meet at a later time. Okay. And then you want to get detailed about it. So then that way you're not having to make several calls back and forth. So, again, if I'm scheduled to meet with the signer at 5 and I give them a call and I say, hey, Mr. Signer, just to let you know, I haven't received your documents yet, so I probably won't be there at 5 o'clock. Are you available later today for me to meet with you? They're either going to say yes or no. Okay. If the signer says yes, then I get more details on their availability. Okay, so are you available anytime tonight? Are you available up until a certain time? Are there certain blocks of time that you are available? Get very specific on what their availability is. For a lot of people, they're usually available pretty much the rest of the evening, especially if it was an afternoon, like 5 or 6 o'clock appointment and you were meeting them at their home. Usually they're available the rest of the evening, but not always. Like I've had signers who will say, no, my kid has a play at school at 8 o'clock. So I've got to leave by my house by 7:30. So they're only available up until 7:30. If it was a signing earlier in the day, let's say I was meeting them at 1 o'clock. They might say, well, that was my lunch hour. So if we're not able to meet at 1, I'm not available until after 6 p.m. when I get off of work. So you need to get very specific on what their availability is for the rest of the day. Now, occasionally the signer is going to say, no, I am only available today at that specific time. Like I've had signers that I was meeting them before they got on a plane to go, out of the country or something like that. So, sometimes they're going to say, no, the only time that they have available is that specific time. If the signer says that they are not available at any other time, immediately send a message and or an email to the contracting company to let them know, hey, I talked to the signer since I don't have documents yet. I may not be on time to meet them at the scheduled time. And the signer said they are only available at that time because XYZ. Okay. So we want to let the folks that hired us know that information as soon as possible, because they may already know they're not going to be able to get documents out to meet that time. So they may need to contact the signer to make some other arrangements. So if the signer says, no, they're not available at any other time, send an email or a message to the contracting company as soon as possible. And again, once you've sent that message, also give them a phone call. If the signer says, yes, they do have availability, I just get the details on that availability. I don't let the contracting company know that information yet, but hang on to it because you're going to need it. All right. So then after I figured out or gotten their availability information, I let the signer know that I will only contact them once I have actually received the documents and we can set a firm time. I don't check in with them every 10 or 15. I still don't have the documents. I still don't have the documents. I don't have time for that. I do not have time for that. I let the signer know I will contact you once I actually receive the documents. If you don't hear from me, that means I don't have your documents yet. If you do hear from me, that means I have your documents and we can set an updated time to meet today. Again, this will let the signer know to not expect to receive periodic updates about the status of the documents, because honestly, that's not our job. It's really not our job, number one. And the other thing you have to realize, guys, is I don't want to put any more effort into this signing than necessary. I don't get paid extra to make extra phone calls. I don't get paid to talk to this person, 10 or 20 times about documents that I don't have control over, So you're kind of politely letting them know, you'll hear from me once I actually have the documents. And then let the signer know if they want updates or if they have questions, they need to contact their lender, the escrow officer, their real estate agent, etc. Those are the people who know what's going on with the documents. So those are the folks that they need to get those updates from. The only thing we're going to do as signing agents is print those documents out and drive to them. So those are the only things that we really have to worry about. Okay, so now what happens if you receive the documents after the 2-hour cutoff? Well, first of all, you should have already done all of the other steps that I've listed. But now you've received the documents and it is after the 2-hour cutoff. If you are still available to do the signing, call the signer. Because remember, we told them, hey, once I've got the documents, I'm going to give you a call back. Call the signer. Let them know you have the documents and then set up a new time to meet that day. Okay, guys? Never reschedule for another day. Do not reschedule it for tomorrow or some other day unless you have permission from the contracting company or the company that hired you. Most mortgage documents are what's called date specific, which means that they are dated for a particular day and they have to be signed on that particular day that they are dated on. So like today is the 12th. If I was doing a closing today, the documents are going to be dated the 12th and I have to get them signed on the 12th. If I held on to those documents and got the signer to sign them on the 13th, those documents and that signing would not be valid. It would be a waste of my time, the signer's time, all of that good stuff, because the signing would not be valid. The docs are date specific the majority of the time. Not always, but the majority of the time they are date specific. So when you call the signer and you set up that new time to meet, make sure it is a time that day. If for some reason there's a conflict with your schedule and their schedule and you're not able to meet that day, then you need to let the company that hired you know that, okay? And we're going to talk about why in just a second. Another thing, though, that you also need to keep in mind, if this delay in the documents means that you're going to miss the cutoff to drop the documents so that they get received by whatever party the next day, you need to let the contracting company know ASAP. So let's say, for example, again, I was supposed to meet this person at 5 o'clock, but it's 5 o'clock now, and I'm just now getting the documents. So I call the signer and we're going to meet at 7 p.m. So since we're meeting at 7 p.m., I'm not going to make the drop for FedEx, which means that the documents will not be delivered to the company the next day. I let the company that hired me know that ASAP. So literally, as soon as I get it scheduled and I see that the time means that I'm not going to be able to get those documents dropped, I'm sending another email and I'm making another phone call, because I just want them to know and be aware and be okay with the fact that those documents will not be received by them tomorrow. And I know sometimes people are like, well, they should know, like they got me the documents late. They should know that they're not going to receive. Yes, they should. But again, a lot of times they're working on multiple files at a time. You know the ins and outs and the details of this one file that you're working on. But if you're working on 20, 30, 40 files, you may not think at that moment on that particular file to realize, hey, I'm not going to get these docs back tomorrow. So you always want to cover yourself with a paper trail. Always let them know in writing, hey, since these documents are late, I'm now meeting the signers at 7 p.m. This package is not going to be received the next day. And they may have some other instructions for you. They may want you to do scan backs now since they're not going to receive the original. And then you may need to negotiate with them an additional fee for having to do scan backs. So always let them know ahead of time so that these things can be worked out and it's not a surprise for any of the parties. The next thing you want to make sure that you do, and this is actually before you even call the signer, make sure that you give yourself adequate time to print and drive to the signer. Again, that's about 2 hours. So if I receive the documents at 5 p.m., when I call the signer, I'm going to try to schedule it for 7 p.m. That gives me an hour to print and prepare the docs and an hour to drive to the signer. And what I may also say is, hey, let's meet at 7, but it's possible that I may get there early. Are you available early if I can get there early? Yes or no, whatever. But give yourself enough time to print and prepare the documents and drive to the signer without stressing out and without rushing. Because what I see a lot of people do is because the documents were late, now they try to rush and be Superman or Superwoman and get to the signers really, really fast. But because you're rushing, you end up making mistakes. And guess what? When you make mistakes, you have to pay for mistakes. You will pay for it with your time because you will then in a day or so have to go back out and meet with this same signer for free to correct whatever mistake it was that you made because you are rushing. And these companies do not care. You can't say, well, you guys got me the documents late. That's why I made this mistake. They don't see it that way. Okay. Your job is to be error-free regardless of whether or not the documents were late. So again, that's why you want to give yourself plenty of time to print and prepare the documents and drive to the signers. And again, that's going to be about 2 hours. Now, what happens though, if you get the documents, you call the signer, you discuss meeting with them at whatever time, and then you realize that you're not available at that time. And it could be a bunch of different reasons why you're not available at the time. You might have another appointment scheduled at that time. You might have to go pick up your kids from school. You might have to go to your kids' school play. You might have had dinner plans. It might be the last episode of Love Island or whatever, and you don't want to, whatever it is, for whatever reason that you are not available. If you realize once you get the documents, you talk to the signer, you realize you're not available at the time that they, want to meet. Again, you're going to message and call the contracting company and let them know that you will not be able to complete the signing. And you're going to tell them that it is because you have another appointment scheduled. That's all you need to tell them, guys. We are not employees. We are independent contractors. You do not have to give them a detailed reason as to why you are no longer available. They got you documents late. You were supposed to meet with the signers at a particular time. You had scheduled that time in your calendar. Since they got you documents late, they missed that scheduled time. So now there is no time available in your schedule for the adjustment that they want. So you just tell them, I have another appointment scheduled. You don't have to tell them why. You don't have to tell them why. Okay. If they try to bug you, just tell them, I have another appointment scheduled. That is literally all you have to say. And honestly, guys, the good companies, the companies that you really want to work with anyway, are going to understand that because they also have schedules. They also have timeframes that they have to meet. They also have things that they have to do. So when you let them know, I'm so sorry, I really wish I could complete this signing, but unfortunately we got the documents late And at the time that the signers want to meet, I already have another appointment scheduled, so I will not be able to complete this signing. The good companies are going to totally understand. And the good companies will send you business again. I promise you. Now, if the signer had indicated to you, or if they had told you, hey, we're available at this time, right? Let the company know what time the signer is available. That saves them time of trying to, hunt the signers down to figure that information out. You've already done that step for them. And again, this is one of the reasons why companies will love to use you again in the future, is because you've helped them out. You've saved a step for them. You already have the block of time that the signer said that they are available. So they can now immediately go searching for another signing agent who is available at that particular time. And again, I promise you, quality companies will use you because they know even if Kendra gets documents late, even if the signing agent gets the documents late, if they're not able to do the signing, they're going to help me out a little bit so that I can get another signing agent scheduled. And again, quality companies will not be upset and they'll just find another signing agent. Now, if the company is yelling and screaming and acting a fool, I promise you that's not even a company that you want to work with anyway, because any good quality company is going to understand, they won't be upset, and they'll just find another signing agent. All right. So then I'm going to tell you guys some things to not do. I just told you something to do that will help you get business in the future from companies, even if they send you documents late. Let me tell you some things not to do. These are things that will either cause companies to not want to work with you in the future, or these are things that are just, bad for you and bad for your business. Now, once that 2-hour mark occurs, so again, in my example, the signing was at 5, 3 o'clock was the cutoff time that I needed to have the documents by on time to be on time for the signing. Once that 2-hour mark hits, do not put your life or your day on hold. If another assignment comes up that you want to take it. Okay. I cannot tell you the number of times when I was new that a company was late getting me documents. They kept telling me documents are coming, documents are coming, documents are coming. And then I had another company call me up. Hey, I've got documents right now for a signing 10 minutes away from you. Will you do it? And I turned it down because I was waiting for the company that said that documents were coming. And then guess what? The documents never came and they ended up rescheduling it for another day. So I ended up missing out on a signing that I could have had. Once that 2-hour mark hits, it's free game. Okay. It is free game once that 2-hour mark hits. If there's another signing that comes up that you want to take it. Okay. Do not sit around stressing out and worrying about this. Again, I know that this is stressful, especially if you're new. I know that this is stressful to you. I know that you don't quite understand why these documents are late, but I promise you, stressing out about it, worrying about it is not going to make those documents appear any faster. I do my little steps that I told you, and then I move on with my life. I pretty much even kind of forget about it, to be honest. I will take a nap as long as I can hear my phone and alerts or whatever, but I don't stress over it. Either it's going to happen or it's not. There's nothing that I can do to magically make those documents appear faster. Another important thing, do not go back and forth with the signers or the contracting company, and do not allow them to try to bully you into trying to make the original signing time. So let's say, again, I'm scheduled to meet with these signers at 5. They send me the documents at 4:15. There's no amount of yelling, there's no amount of fussing that these people can do to try to make me still be there at 5 o'clock. I'm not a superhero. I'm an awesome signing agent, but I'm not a superhero. I don't have a helicopter. I don't have a Star Trek teleporter. I don't have some magical way to bend space and time. People sometimes will try to make you make up for the fact that those documents were late. Do not do it. Again, give yourself adequate time to make sure that you can properly print and prep the documents and safely drive to the appointment. And so that also means when you are driving to the signing, guys, do not speed. Do not drive recklessly. Do not drive aggressively. Again, poor planning on their part. I don't know why the documents were late, but it wasn't my fault. Poor planning on their part does not constitute an emergency on your part. The reality is, I don't care about anybody's mortgage enough to get a speeding ticket. I don't care about anybody's real estate transaction enough to get into an accident. I don't care about anybody's sale enough to possibly even die in an accident trying to rush to get to their signing. It is not that serious, okay? And if you have signers or a company that is trying to push you, when that 2-hour mark hits, you can just let them know, I'm no longer available. Unfortunately, I've got another appointment scheduled, so I'm not going to be able to meet with the signers at the time that you need me to meet with them. But I promise you guys, it's not worth it. There is no signing that is worth the extra drama. And some other things to keep in mind is that late documents are a reality. They are a part of the business. Whether you're new or aspiring, go ahead and mentally prepare yourself now. Because again, I know you're going to be excited. You're going to get a signing request and then you're not going to get the documents on time. Okay. Just mentally prepare yourself. It is going to happen. Again, complaining about it and stressing out over it is counterproductive. It's not going to get you the documents any faster. It's not going to make anything any better. I can't tell you the number of Facebook groups or forums that I'll see where people are just fussing about late documents. It doesn't do any good. They just happen. It sucks, but it just happens. Don't let it stress you out. Another thing you should keep in mind, you should have a good idea of how long it takes you to prepare for a signing. Again, you should be able to print and prep documents in an hour or less. If you cannot do it in an hour or less, you've got some place that you're lacking in your training and in your knowledge that you need to improve on, because it absolutely should not take you more than an hour to print and prep the documents. And if you are new, you should be getting better. You should be getting faster. All of these documents are pretty much the same. Once you've done one refinance, you should be able to do, any. The mortgage documents are pretty much, the majority of them are pretty much all the same. So as you do this, you should be getting faster. I can honestly print and prep documents as fast as my printer can print them. So if it's 150, 200 page, document set, I can almost be ready and out the door in 15 to 20 minutes, just because that's about how long it's going to take for my printer to print the documents out. Okay. Now, again, not everybody's going to be that fast. An hour is a reasonable amount of time. But if you're not able to do it within an hour, you need to reevaluate something. You're missing something. You need some additional training. And then the last thing, it's going to sound bad, but it's not a bad thing. The reality is signing agents are easily replaceable. If you are not able to do the signing, I promise you, they're going to be able to find another signing agent to do it. Again, sometimes the signers don't understand that just because you're not available at a particular time, they're still going to be able to find someone to get that signing done. So if you're that kind of person that's maybe freaking out a little bit, thinking, oh my gosh, somebody's going to be able to do the signing. It's going to be okay. They are going to figure it out. And guys, just as a reminder, especially for those of you who are listening to me say, hey, you should be able to print and prep documents in an hour or less, and you think I'm crazy, you need more training. You need better training. And that is what my Signing Agent Advanced training program is all about. Training is more important than ever. I know a lot of people think I'm just going to do YouTube University. I'm just going to fake it till I make it. I'm just going to learn on the go. That is a quick way to kill your business before it even starts. You need to invest in yourself and you need to invest in your business and get training. In my Signing Agent Advanced training program, guys, I teach you everything you need to know step by step to get started as a signing agent. I teach you how to print and prep documents, how to get the documents signed properly. I give you sample documents. I have mock closing videos. I teach you how to get direct business. And I am a mentor that you can actually reach out to for assistance. So click the link in my bio. If you need training, check out my Signing Agent Advanced training program. Woo, that was a lot. I'm glad I got it in on the time because I knew this was going to be a lot and I wasn't sure, but I was like, I want to get it into my hour. Now we are in the question and answer portion. If you guys have any questions about how to handle late documents, any questions about anything that I just went over in this video, let me know. Again, whether you are watching this live or you are watching this on the replay, let me know in the chat. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. But hopefully, this has given you a couple of things. Hopefully, I've given you a system that you can follow to handle late documents. I think for a lot of people, that's where the apprehension comes in. They just don't know what to do if documents are late. Well, now you've got a system. Now I've told you exactly what to say and exactly how to handle the situation if the documents are late. So that can keep you from being stressed out. So you may want to bookmark this video. You may want to save this video and refer back to it in the future I'm not going to say if, when you run into a situation where the documents are late. Because again, I promise you are going to have late documents. I've been doing this now for almost 20 years. I started in 2007, I think. So what's that, 18 years? Been doing this for 18 years, guys. At least a couple of times a week, at least I get documents late and I have to go through the process that I just showed you guys. I don't stress out over it. Again, I just know it is going to happen. And so I just calmly deal with it. And that's the thing. You've got to put it in your mind and in your process that this is how I'm going to handle it when the documents are late. And hopefully also I've kind of given you a little bit of insight. Like I said, there's a million reasons why documents can be late, but hopefully I've given you a little bit of insight as to why they might be late. Let's see. Could I give insight on which signing services are best to work with? The best signing services to work with are the best signing services for you to work with. There's no one or two awesome signing services and the rest of them are not good. There are signing services that I don't like that other people love. There are signing services that other people love that I hate, right? It's all about the signing services that you find work well for you. Now, one of the things that I will suggest before you work with any signing service, and I think I did a video about this not too long ago, you do want to research the signing services. You do want to go onto the forums. You do want to look at their Google reviews to see if there's a lot of complaints about them. You want to see whether or not they pay signing agents on time. You want to see what complaints people have. Because here's the thing. If they don't pay other people on time, they're not going to pay you on time. If they don't pay other people, they're not going to pay you. So you don't want to work for companies that are not going to pay you or that are not going to pay you on time. Other than that, it is literally just trial and error in finding out who the best signing services are for you to work with. There may be a signing service that has a ton of business here in San Antonio that I love, but you live in a different city and state and they don't have any business or not a lot of business in your city and state. And so I might say, hey girl, ABC signing service is the best signing service in the world. And you sign up with them and then you mad because they haven't sent you anything because they don't have any business in your area. So the best signing services to work with are the ones that are the best for you. And it's just going to be trial and error. And you're going to find out quickly. You're going to quickly see the signing services that you mesh with, who pay you well, who pay you on time, and who send you business. That's a good question, though. Let's see. Sylvia said, do signing services give the notary what times are the last for drop-off hours? I believe you have a signing service. I believe if you have a signing service, they should keep on top of this note. No, girl, that is your job. That is not their job. So the signing services, again, they work nationwide and drop-offs are going to be different in every city. It's impossible for them to keep up with what the drop-off times are in your particular city. Now, I will say in general, in most cities, the early cutoffs are around 5 or 6 o'clock. So normally, most cities, the last cutoff is going to be at least 6 p.m. And in some areas, like here in San Antonio, I do a lot of signings where it's going back through FedEx. I know that there is a 9 p.m. drop off here in San Antonio. I know that. That's not the signing service's job to know. That's my job to know that, because it's my responsibility to drop these documents off. And so this is why, if you get into a situation where they're going to get the documents to you at a time too late for you to drop them off, you need to make them aware. Again, it is not their job. It is impossible for them to know the drop-offs in every city and every location and all that good stuff. You need to make them aware, especially if it's after that 5 or 6 o'clock time. For the most part, they're going to assume that if the signing is done before 5 o'clock, that the documents will get dropped that day. Because again, most cities have at least a 5 or a 6 o'clock drop off. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Linda said, you've been told to not get any documents out of order. I've seen videos where they're showing you how to close faster and they're pulling out documents, rearranging. Is that okay? It depends on the company. Some companies are okay with you shuffling documents around. Some companies are not okay with you shuffling documents around. So you always need to follow the instructions from the company that hired you. You can't shuffle documents around and say, well, other companies are okay with it, so you should be okay with it too. That's not how it works. Follow the instructions from the company that hired you. Now, what you can do, if they are one of those companies that does not like you rearranging the documents, just use a Post-it note. For like, I have a list of the top 5 documents that you should go over first. If you can't move them out of order, put a Post-it note on it. You can turn to that, get it signed, and then stick it right back in where it goes, so that you can go over the documents that you want to go over first. Okay. Just because you can't rearrange the document doesn't mean that you can't flip through and find what you want to get signed first. So follow the instructions from the company. If they say don't get our documents out of order, don't get them out of order. If they don't care, then you can shuffle them. But either way, you still have the ability to get the documents signed first that you want to get signed first. Let's see. Don't see the link to my course in the description box. Let me click. It is literally the second link under in the description box. It says you can get details about my Signing Agent Advanced Training Program and sign up on my website at this link. And that link is signingagentbasics.com/training. So again, but you have to be in the YouTube video in the description box. And it is the second link as you go down. Let's see. With the 2-hour rule in mind, print and drive time, how would you suggest scheduling the day if you are full time? So now, again, I do think about that. And like I told you, if for some reason you need more than 2 hours, and one of those reasons might be because you have a signing right before theirs, then you're going to adjust what you say to them. But you need to have a good reason. And so let's say I've got that 5 o'clock signing and I had another signing at 4 o'clock. So now I need to get those 5 o'clock documents no later than 2 p.m. to be on time for that 5 o'clock signing. So when I send my email, I'm going to send them that email at 1 p.m. I'm going to tell them I must have documents by 2 p.m. And I'm going to explain to them why. Because I have another appointment immediately before theirs. And so I have to have the documents by this time in order to be on time for your 5 o'clock appointment. The other thing that you also have to do as a signing agent is, I know it feels really nice to try to schedule a gazillion signings in, but realize you're not going to get your whole day's worth of documents first thing in the morning. So you may have to do something more along the lines of scheduling maybe a 12 o'clock appointment, a 2 or 3 o'clock appointment, and then like a 5 o'clock appointment. Because again, you're probably not going to get your documents back to back. Or if you are one of those folks who wants to do the whole mobile printer setup, you can. I am not a fan of it. It's more hassle to me than it is, benefit. But again, some people love it. And if you are that busy, you might want to look into a mobile setup. I pretty much just schedule my day with, kind of a few little breaks in for me to come back to my office and print documents. And I just go from there, but again, if you have another appointment scheduled right before theirs, let them know. Give them enough time ahead of time, because if you don't tell them that, again, they're going to go off of the 2-hour rule. The other thing that they might do is they might tell you in advance, you know what? There's no way that we're going to be able to get you documents this early. So we're just going to reassign this signing to another signing agent. And that is perfectly fine. You can't do every signing. But again, by letting the company know ahead of time, you've given them plenty of time to find another signing agent. And when you do that, they are more willing to work with you in the future. If you throw that bomb on them at the last minute, they're going to be mad, because now they're going to be scrambling trying to find someone to do this signing at the last minute. And they're going to remember that. And they're not going to want to work with you as much because you made their job more difficult. But that's what I do with the 2-hour rule. That's how I handle it if I need more than 2 hours. Basically, you just let them know so that they can make the adjustments that they need to make to get the signing done. Awesome. Let's see another thing here. Yep. Here's what I've been going wrong. I would wait and it would cause my day to be all messed up. Yes, you have to be preemptive. You have to be proactive, because again, guys, they have dozens of signings that they are working on. Okay. I know we want them to only think about our one signing, but they're not. They got tons of stuff. It's our job to think about our signing. So send them information. Send them that information ahead of time. So again, they're not scrambling, you're not scrambling, and the signing still gets taken care of in as close to a timely manner as possible for you, the lender, title company, real estate agent, signing service, everybody. Keep everybody happy, and they will keep sending you business. All right, guys, I hope that this video was helpful, whether you were watching it on the live stream or on the replay. If it was helpful, let me know down in the chat or down in the comments. You guys know the deal. I'm going to be back next month with another live stream for you, probably on the second Saturday of August. I look forward to seeing each of you guys there. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, and I hope that you guys have a productive and profitable day. Bye, guys.